Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you're doing? I hope you're doing well, and welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine. I hope you can hear me clearly. I know I had a problem with my audio earlier, guys, but thank you so much, guys, for joining me this afternoon. Of course, really good to have you guys on board, guys. Really nice to see you. To see you, nice, as Bruce Forsyth used to say all those many years ago, guys. Let's get straight into it. Of course, the news about Baleba. We got tons of news about Baleba. We've also got news about the goalkeeper situation. What's going on there? And is Onana disgruntled at the moment? Rumor is that he's not too happy about the rumors that have been going around in regards to his name, etc., guys. And we're going to get into it. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everyone who's joining me this afternoon, guys. Now, let's get straight into it, guys. Rumor is, you may have heard it in the airways, Carlos Baleba has agreed personal terms with Manchester United. Now, this is not like he went to Carrington, he signed a contract, etc. It is like a verbal gentleman's agreement between Baleba and Manchester United. Baleba and Manchester United have been in talks for longer than we expected. They have been in talks for a while now. Guys, let me just tell you that. This isn't a new thing. Man United have been aware of Carlos Baleba for quite a while now. So this is not just come off the cuff. This is not off the cuff. This has been going on for a few weeks. So Manchester United, apparently, rumor is he's had a gentleman's agreement. Now, this sounds very much like the Mbumo deal, where we had the gentleman's agreement. We agreed personal terms with Manchester United, and then obviously it took time to get the deal over the line. Look, we know as well as anyone else, more than anyone else probably, that even if you agree personal terms, it doesn't mean that the club player is going to sign for the club. Generally, when a player wants to leave, if he wants to leave and he's openly public about it, i.e. Baleba, who wants to leave Brighton, wants to go to Manchester United, apparently a Man United fan, generally the player gets his wish. Generally, the player gets his hopes. And, you know, what I would say is that it is looking positive. It is looking good. Look, we got like two and a half weeks until the end of the window. The 1st of September is the end of the week, end of the window, of course, guys. So a lot could quite possibly happen between now and then. But the Baleba news is very interesting, guys. It is very exciting indeed. And the fact that Baleba's up for it, he's up for it. You better believe us. You better believe us. Absolutely. You know, this is what we're going to have all the analogies coming very soon, guys. But Carlos Baleba talks to Man United, talks agreed in verbally, absolutely verbally. Okay, so there basically is like a gentleman's agreement. So nothing official, nothing pen to paper, but verbally he has agreed to go to Manchester United, guys. This is exciting times, of course, but we also have to keep our feet on the ground because we know what could happen, guys. We know that anything can happen in the world of football, guys. Absolutely, don't we? So we have to play that by ear and let's see what happens, of course, guys, going forward. But Carlos Baleba is a very important player for Manchester United. It is apparent that Ruben Amorim has demanded Carlos Baleba sign for Manchester United, of course. Very important for our midfield, the engine of the team. Now, look, obviously, there's going to be lots of debate about who's going to play with Baleba. Which player is going to play with Baleba? Is it going to be Bruno Fernandes? Is it going to be another player like a Mainu or an Ugarte? I mean, we have to wait and see, guys. Will Ruben Amorim change his tactics? I don't think that's ever going to happen, but that is also a possibility as well, guys. But, you know, Carlos Baleba in that midfield, becoming our engine, bringing that ball from deep, bringing that ball forward, is nothing. You can only be excited about that because he's a generational talent, of course, guys, and a sort of player that Man United have been missing for a very long time. And we have to look back at the midfielders that we've had. We've had some good midfielders over the last, 13 years. We have Schweinsteiger. Do you remember him? Of course, remember a great player in his past. Schneiderlin, great player. But these players are either past their peak or not proven and not generational like Baleba is. Baleba, for me, is a generational player. Now, is one that Manchester United should secure. Now, when I talk about the deal could be done next week, the deal will progress. The deal could be done, verbally agreed about the price by the end of next week. The price could be agreed with Brighton. Of course, I doubt that this will go down the Mbeumo route. I know that in the Mbeumo situation was absolutely ridiculous. Brighton were digging their heels in, and they were trying to get as much money as they could. You know, they're vying for money at the end of the day. And they, fair enough on them. They're a small club, and obviously they want to get as much as they can out of the deal, of course. And this might sort of worry a few Man United fans and stuff, but I don't think this is going to go down that direction. I think Man United are ready. Man United prepared for this deal for longer than a lot of us think, guys. So let's wait and see, and let's play this by ear. Looking forward to it, of course, guys. Absolutely, guys. Thank you, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Let me just get through some of your comments, guys. Good to see everyone in the house, of course. Alexandra Park, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Let me just downsize that. There we go. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Will we get them both very soon, mate? You've got good information. Thank you so much, Alexander Park. Much appreciated, mate. Much appreciated. Really do appreciate your lovely comments there. Absolutely. Slices of Sip, how you doing, my friend? Baleba is happening. Let's go. Come on, my friend. Big up Slices of Sip. Lots of positive noises coming out of Manchester United at the moment, of course. It's good to have the positive noises going on at the moment, you know, and you know, this is the type of noises that we've been hearing from Mbeumo, that we heard from Sesko, etc., you know. Slicer said, this is allegedly stuff happening right now. Big up, Slicer said, hope you're doing well. Of course, Brian, he liked Roy Keane on a speed low. Big up, Brian. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. He's a mix of Vidic, Giggs, and Keane. Bloody hell, Slicer said, that is big compliment indeed. My goodness me. No, we ain't going to go that far, my friend. Slicer said, I was around when Ryan Giggs and Roy Keane and Paul Scholes were around, and goodness me, no one touches them at the moment. I can't say until they go out there and win trophy after trophy after trophy. I can't compare that era with now, because that is a completely different. They gave me some of the most happiest times in my Manchester United supporting life, guys. They really did. So I don't know about that, but big up Slices of Sib anyway. Poggers. Brian Moran, we've not had a midfield player like Baleba since Keane. I agree with that, Rowan. We haven't had that enforcer, that guy who can dictate play, etc. Obviously, the personalities are different. Obviously, eras are different as well. Roy Keane was an absolute animal in that midfield. Also, very, very influential was Roy Keane as well. He was a captain, of course, best captain. For me, apart from Brian Robson, he was the best captain at Man United's history, in my opinion. But what I would say is that, yeah, look, it's the kind of player, a Roy Keane kind of player. Yeah, absolutely. That, you know, what we have been missing since Roy Keane left the football club. We tried to replace it. Obviously, we felt that Casemiro might be that guy. Unfortunately, we got Casemiro at a time where he was on his last legs. He was on his last legs, and he is on his last legs. And I think him staying in the Premier League this season maybe is a little bit far-fetched. Perhaps he should have left last season. Perhaps that should have been the last season for him, to be honest with you guys, in my opinion. But, you know, what we would say is that thank you to Casemiro, because Casemiro is a generational, but I think that he needs to be replaced. And I think Baleba is that guy. The only concern that I have, and I have stressed this a number of times over the last few days, is that if we sign Baleba, is Bruno going to stay with him in that number 8 position? And I'm very concerned about the Bruno position. I'm concerned because I don't feel that Bruno is a number 8. I don't think Bruno's a number 8. I think Bruno is more on the lines of a number 10. And as I said, you know what? We could easily change the formation. We won't need to change it that much. All we would need to do is remove one of those defenders and play a 2 double pivot in the midfield with the 3 and the 1. He could play a 4-2-3-1. He can do that. That means that Bruno can move up the pitch and play in that number 10 position alongside Mbeumo, alongside Cunha, and we can have Sesko up front. Now, how dangerous would that be at the end of the day? We could quite possibly do that, of course, but I don't think we're going to do that. Of course, Ruben Amorim is religiously dedicated to his formation and his tactics and his philosophy. So, look, you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens. And let's hope that we get this deal over the line quicker rather than later, because Manchester United need to move on to the goalkeeper position, of course. Now, rumours are circulating from people close to Onana that he's a little bit disillusioned, a little bit unhappy by the rumours that he will be replaced at Manchester United. Of course, Onana had a relatively poor season last season, breaking all types of records, and statistically became Manchester United's worst goalkeeper in the Premier League era. Statistically, fact, guys. So what we have to understand is that having a competent goalkeeper between the sticks is very important. And Manchester United want to get this Baleba deal tied up so they can move on to the likes of a Donnarumma, the likes of a Seny Lamens. Now, obviously, I've said it a number of times now. You're probably bored of me saying it, but let me say it again. in regards to Donnarumma. Donnarumma, of course, was signed for Manchester United if Man United managed to offload Onana. Onana is an experienced player on a lot of money per week, a big asset for Man United, valuable. So Man United look at that, and Man United won't want to have two number ones at the football club, one of them or the other. The only thing we can do is bring in like a Cedi Lamens who can be groomed to be the next understudy to Onana, and he can slowly but surely move into that position, of course, guys. Absolutely brilliant. Benny, Baleba and Donnarumma, Cunha, Sesko and Buma was a dream at the end of the season. Guys, Benny, what I would ask you, right? If someone told you at the end of last season, we'll have Mbuma, we'll have Cunha, we'll have Sesko, we'll have Baleba, we'll have Donnarumma, you would have thought I'm barking mad, right? You would have think, Sal, you're absolutely off your head. What have you been smoking, bruv? You know what I mean? You would have been like that at the end of the day. But yes, this is a possibility that this could happen. Of course, it might not work out next season. We hope it works out for Ruben Amorim. We hope it works out for the new players, because we are making risks. We are taking sacrifices and stuff like that, which is good. We should be. Where we came last season, it was embarrassing. What happened on the last day of the season was embarrassing. This is what we need to do. This is the kind of moves that This is the kind of, news that we need to hear as well, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, Benny. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, of course. Big up, Randy. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Makes me feel giddy. Good up. Big up, Baleba. You make me feel big giddy, Baleba. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Big up, Jarleif, all the way from Norway. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We thought United could only do one deal for a while this summer, but it's clear they have been working on the stuff in the background after Sesko stuff. I'm going to have to hold my hands up, guys. I rate Vivell highly. I think Vivell is a huge part of what is going on this summer. Vivell deserves his flowers, mate. He deserves his flowers. And what he's done this summer, we couldn't have done it without Vivell, guys. We couldn't have done it without Vivell. This guy knows his stuff. And as you said there, Jarle, Manchester United have been working on these deals behind the scenes. We only look at things from the fact that what we see on the media and the social media, but we don't look what the silent whispers, you know what I mean? What goes on in the shadows, as we say, we don't know what goes on there, So obviously there's been a lot of communication between Baleba. There's so many different ways to communicate these days, isn't it? You can drop a little WhatsApp. You can say, like, how you doing, mate? You all right, mate? You fancy come to Man United and stuff like that. Not quite like that, but do you know what I mean? That could quite possibly be the thing with Manchester United, behind the scenes. We're acting much shrewder now. And look, as I would say, is that now we've got much more footballing people at the football club. There's football people at the football club now. And that's what's important, because we've never had footballing people. We've either had corporate people or we've had the Glazers, which the Glazers obviously know diddly squat about football. They know nothing about football, let alone scouting Benjamin Sesko. They wouldn't even know what that is at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So it's good that we got footballing people at the football club at the moment, and it's good that we're getting these deals done, and we're slyly, like other teams do, guys. Don't think these other teams ain't learnt the dark arts. They know the dark arts. There's a dark arts in football in regards to transfers, in regards to what you do in the pitch. There's a dark arts. There's an art to it. And Manchester United is starting to do it. And it's something that we haven't done over the years. Now, the only concern for me, and one thing I will point out, is that Manchester United need to take risks more. They need to take risks more, whether it's FFP, whether it's PSR. I know that we're worried about that. I know we're scared about that. But when you look at Manchester City, the way Manchester City are getting away with all these charges, why don't Man United just bend a few rules here and there? Do you know what I mean? Just bend a few rules. And you know what? You never know. At the end of the day, I don't think that the Premier League wants an unstable Manchester United. The Premier League needs a competitive Manchester United. They need a competitive Man United. It's good for business. It's good for business. Who once said that? It's good for business. Was it Triple H or something like that? It's good for business. Absolutely. Big up, Hardcore Rock Matt. Big up, my friend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, of course. Here in Man, you're looking more at Le Mans as a more realistic over. Yes, we have to understand this. This is how it goes, my friend Hardcore. As I've spoken about a number of times on the channel, is that Donnarumma is not a guarantee. Donnarumma wants to come to Manchester United. That is true. But what it is the fact that Onana, whilst Onana is at the football club, Donnarumma won't be moving to the football club, because Onana is a number one as Manchester United see him as, even though number-wise he's not the number one, it's by in there, but Man United see him as a number one, and bringing in another number one would not make business sense. So it is more realistic that Manchester United will make a move for Seny Lamens, of course, who is a younger goalkeeper who could be groomed into becoming the understudy to Onana, becoming the next number one, of course. So Man United are more inclined to do something like that. Of course, Man United at the moment are concentrating on midfield and obviously the goalkeeping position. It does look like the midfield will be next. Of course, there was glaring problems in that midfield against, of course, the game the other day. Against Fiorentina, there was glaring, obvious gaps in that midfield, problems in that midfield, and that midfield needs to be sorted out. Now, I have my analogies, and I know a lot of people are going to dismiss it. I just don't think Bruno is a number 8, but I'll never believe he's a number 8. He's playing that position. He's a number 10 all day long. He's one of the best number 10s in the world. I wouldn't discount that. But as a number 8, he goes really, really down in the pecking order to a very average number 8. And a number 8 that makes a lot of space for other players, and I'm sure midfielders around the Premier League would enjoy playing against Bruno in that number 8 position, because that position there is a skilled position. Ask Paul Scholes, ask these players or these legends of the past. It is a skilled position, of course. Hey, big up, Grayer. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sal, have you seen the video of Paul Scholes saying that Sesko should have gone to Newcastle as he would have been more chance of developing better? You know, I have seen it, Grayer. I have seen it. Lo and behold, I have seen it, my friend. What I would say, Grayer, is that Paul Scholes works for Sky Sports, and Paul Scholes has to abide by the Sky Sports narrative. We all know about Sky Sports. We know how Sky Sports feel about Man United. Sky Sports don't like Manchester United. This is the thing, and they haven't done for many, many years. God knows only why, because we put them on the map. We put Sky Sports on the map. When Sky Sports came in 1992, it was Manchester United who won the league. It was Manchester United who had the Eric Cantonas of this world, winning the doubles, etc., and having that competitive edge with Arsenal in the Premier League, which elevated Sky Sports to a new stratosphere. So I don't know why they don't like us. Probably because a lot of the ex-pros who work on there now used to lose to Man United, lost a lot of trophies to Man United. And I would say that I like Paul Scholes, obviously one of my favourite players of all time. Think he's the best English midfielder of a generation in regards to the last 30 years, 35 years. I think he's the best English midfielder there was in regards to that. But doesn't mean that his opinion is the gospel. It doesn't mean his opinion is gospel. Just because Eddie Howe wears a tracksuit bottoms and a shell suit doesn't mean that he's good at training youngsters better than Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim has proven to make world-class players out of nothing. Let's tell me about it. Let's talk about Ruben Amorim and the fact that he makes world-class players out of nothing. Let's look at Gyökeres, look at Quenda, Diomande, Hojlund. Very average players at their old clubs, but turned into world-class players. Gyökeres was in the Bliss. Gyökeres was finished. Coventry, not all that, but came to Sporting Lisbon, developed into a world-class player. Hojlund, another one, developed into a world-class player. Diomande, developed into a world-class player. Quenda, developed into a world-class player. Ignacio, developed into a world-class player. You know, there's many players in that sporting side which were developed by Ruben Amorim, and Ruben Amorim is so underrated in regards to that. Now, I really hope it works out for Ruben Amorim. I'm a big fan. I like his attitude. I like his personality, of course. But obviously, personality doesn't win you trophies. Being nice doesn't win you trophies. You have to be a little bit ruthless. And that, I think he is. And I don't think we're there yet. People underestimate the mess that we were in when Erik ten Hag left. We were in an absolute mess, guys. It was absolute derelict, guys. Now, Ruben Amorim was walking into a derelict building and expected to clean it all up in 6 months. It's not going to do. That's not going to work. That's unrealistic. Ruben Amorim needs more time to develop this team. Of course, we expect to see improvement. We expect to see Manchester United climbing up that league. And hopefully, the first game of the season against Arsenal, guys, really excited for this game. You know, Man United move up that table. You might start the season very, very well. Beat Arsenal, play Fulham, beat Fulham, play Burnley, beat Burnley. And then obviously we'll be moving up that table pretty quickly. And all of a sudden we've won 3 games in a row and everyone's going to be like, wow, things are a lot better than they were, of course. So big up, Grayer, my friend. Good to see you again. Ephraim, Sal, do you think we can afford the wages of Donnarumma? Yes, I think we can afford the wages of Donnarumma. Absolutely. We got rid of Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford was on the second most high paid player at Manchester United, of course. behind Casemiro, 350 odd thousand pounds, 320, I think he was getting. So obviously we can put that money towards Donnarumma. Now, if we lose Garnacho, we get rid of Anthony as well. Those are two players as well that are the wages are gonna be off the book. Sancho, the wages are gonna be off the books, of course. So we can afford them. Of course, we're going to have a smaller squad this year. We're not going to have a bigger squad like we did last year. Our squad is going to be decreased. Obviously, we're not in Europe this year, of course. But obviously, it is a worry because of injuries. That's the only thing I worry about. But yes, Manchester United can afford Donnarumma. They can afford these wages. What is it? 300 grand, 300 grand a week. I think Man United are trying to offer him 180,000 plus incentives, which basically is about clean sheet bonuses and things like that. If you keep clean sheets, the more money you get and stuff like that, of course, which are reachable, guys. Absolutely. Performance-based contracts is something that I've been preaching, guys, for a very long time. Man United haven't got performance-based contracts. Over the years, especially these recent years, last 10 years in particular, Man United have never offered performance-based contracts. Players are given contracts for nothing, absolutely nothing. And you're talking about big contracts, long contracts. You just have to look at Phil Jones and Luke Shaw and these type of players, and it goes to show you where we were. Yale Scholes, fantastic player as a pundit. He's among the very worst. At the end of the day, one thing I'm a bit disillusioned about Yale, my friend. Look, at the end of the day, what I would say about Paul Scholes, when Paul Scholes was a player, Paul Scholes didn't really talk. And you never heard Paul Scholes say a word. You didn't hear a whisper. He was shy. He was quiet. Suddenly, he's retired from football. And all of a sudden, he's got the motor mouth. He's like saved up all the words that he wanted to say for the last 20 years. And he's just splurted them out on the media waves, of course. Generally, let me just say this, guys, and I don't know what you think about this, but this is what I've been feeling for a long, long time. Personally, I feel that a lot of these ex-footballers of Manchester United, apart from Eric Cantona and David Beckham, by the way, apart from those two, I think a lot of those ex-pros, especially the ones that are rife on Sky Sports, Gary Neville and Paul Scholes, those sort of folk, even to an extent, Rio Ferdinand, I think that these folk don't want success for Manchester United. They don't want success for Man United. Reason being, I don't think they want Manchester United, their legacy to be erased. We all know that their legacy is going to be very difficult to erase. Of course, we know that. I think they thrive off a poor Manchester United so that they can sit there with their self-righteous mannerism and start saying, in my day, it was like that. In my day, it was like that, etc., etc., etc. Do you know what I mean? So I think this is what these guys do. And it makes them feel good. Maybe in the old age, they need to feel good. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. But this is what it is. Added to the fact that, Sky Sports don't like Manchester United. Let's be real here. Sky Sports do not like Manchester United, and they work for Manchester United. Gary Neville works for Sky Bet, and all these people, you know what I mean? The overlap is sponsored by Sky Bet, Sky Sports. It's all Sky, and they don't like Manchester United, and this is what we have to say. This is why they don't want a successful Manchester United, of course. So whenever we get linked with a player, whenever a player wants to come to Man United, as opposed to going to Newcastle, of course, Eddie Howe's very well loved. I don't know why. Won League Cup. That's it. He's less successful than Eric Ten Hag at the end of the day, and had longer. I would say that, it's just typical. And sometimes what I do is say this, guys. Opinions ain't facts. Take them in and let them go. And that's what you should do. Opinions are not facts. Absolutely. First time I heard that quote was from Chipmunk, the rapper. Opinions ain't facts. Take him in and let him go. Big up Chipmunk, by the way. Absolutely. Cengiz, good morning. How you doing? Good afternoon. Good evening. How you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Really good to see you in the chat. Good to see you again, my friend. Miles, good morning. How you doing? Looking good. So are you, my friend, if I saw you. Absolutely. This happened. So I'm so proud to watch this channel. Thank you, sir, brother. Peace. Thank you so much, Miles. You're a very nice person. Your compliments are not going ignored, mate. I really appreciate it. It really makes me feel like it's worth the while. Of course, guys, working very hard on this channel. Of course, guys. Thank you so much, my friend. Of course. Grayo, only 23 likes. Come on, 114 in. Come on, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button, guys. We've got 126 people in the chat. Don't forget to smash the like, guys. It's very good for the algorithms, helps the channel and all that. Don't forget to subscribe as well, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helps. Thank you so much, Grayo. You're legend, of course. 1988, I'm going to call you. A few days ago, I was like 80% it's not going to happen, but now I'm like 80%. You see how football can change, my friend. You see how football can change. You see that football can change on a sixpence like this, you know what I mean? And that's what can happen. And that can happen next week. Football can change. But the noises that we're hearing at Manchester United are very positive. It's the same noises we heard from Mbeumo. It's the same noises that we heard from Cunha. The same positivity that is going on. The same people speaking that is happening right now. The same sort of similarities, you know, that happened with Mbeumo, that happened with Sesko. Hopefully we get a Sesko type deal. Sesko was smooth sailing. We got Sesko through the door. Lovely jubbly. Lovely. Loved it at the end of the day. And it was quick, efficient, fair play to RB Leipzig. Absolutely love them. They're brilliant. They were brilliant to do business with. And hopefully we can work with RB Leipzig again in the future, given that we got Vavel and stuff. Maybe we can do some sort of feeder club thing, a collaboration between RB Leipzig and Manchester United. That would be lovely. Of course, I like RB Leipzig. Guys, I like the Red Bull company. They do very well. They've done very well with RB Salzburg as well. And obviously RB Leipzig, splendid, very, very good. And what I would say is that, yeah, I hope we get a deal like the Sesko deal rather than a deal like the Mbeumo deal, where we agree personal terms on June the 1st. And 50 days later, we're still talking to him. And hopefully we can get that done, of course, guys. Absolutely. Jengas. Baleba is a proper United signing if we get him. Absolutely agree with that. Big up, Jengas. Tammy Goes, what's going on? I'm hearing personal agreement done with Baleba. Yes, my friend. Yes. Sal, to compete at the highest level, how many midfielders do we need? Look, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, Ephraim. Big up, Ephraim. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the stream, my guy. And what I would say is this, yeah? In regards to Man United, we're going to be serious. We're going to be honest about where Man United are and what Man United need to do in the future, etc., etc. Man United need a couple of midfielders, you know, i.e. a Walton and a Baleba. It is true. You better believe us. It is true, guys. Not going to get over that one. Absolutely not. But it's true. Man United need more. Man United need more. They need a couple of midfielders to fix it. I don't think our midfield is good enough. I really don't. I think that we're left wanting. We're exposed a number of times. I think ill discipline from various players on the pitch. But not only that, and I'm not only saying about the midfield, guys, because there are a few problems at Man United. And I'm not just targeting the midfield. The play from the back, the passing out from the back is too slow. We're pedestrian. We're actually standing still sometimes. And that should never happen at Manchester United. Alex Ferguson famously said that no player should be standing still on the pitch. When you grow up playing football, you know that if you stand still on that pitch with the ball, you're going to be in trouble. You need to keep that ball moving. Man United get the ball, hesitant, anxiety, indecisiveness, pass it back, pass aside, pass it back. I do think Maguire has a huge part to play in that. I think that he's a little bit clumsy, a bit Bambi on ice and stuff. I think we have a number of modern defenders there that can do it, but there's a couple there that really cause a lot of irritants in regards to their body movement and stuff like that. But we are very, very slow in regards to building up play from the midfield and the defense. Now, the saving grace for that, of course, is Baleba. Baleba can come from deep, get that ball, move it up the pitch. A bit like Iniesta and Xavi used to do back in the day. Get that ball, move it up the pitch. That's what Man United need to do. Get the ball, move it up the pitch. Give and go, give and go. Man United are very slow at doing that. They're like snail's pace from the back to the midfield to the strikers. Man United give the opposition a chance to get back into shape, and then by the time we got the ball to the attack, the defense of the opposition has already worked out what we're going to do. And that's the problem, you know. Absolutely. Randy. Baleba is coming. Then Donnarumma, then a good right back reset. Big up, Randy. I hope so, my friend. Hope so. Sal, the news of Baleba is hotter than the sun. I hope so, mate. Hopefully it's not the Sun newspaper, obviously. Brian, we broke little of records for the wrong reasons last year. So, mate, Brian, you spoke the gospel there, mate. Man United over the last year, 2 years in particular, have broken too many records. Since Sir Alex Ferguson left, our proud, outstanding records have been erased. They're gone, not least the treble. All right? And then whatever anyone wants to say about Manchester City, we lost our treble, our coveted treble that we didn't think any other English club would do again. Sir Alex Ferguson said it famously. If anyone's going to do it again, it'll be us. Man City did it. There's a number of achievements that Man United have made. We still luckily got a few records, but showing how successful we were under Alex Ferguson. But we have lost a lot of our records, a lot of our proud, long-standing records, and that is unacceptable for me, in my opinion. And I think that Man United needed to, need to start creating more records. I liked what Sesko said yesterday. Sesko said, look, you know what? This club has a great past, a great history, but I'm not here to talk about the history. I'm here to talk about the future. And that quote right there really hit me. I said, yes, let's do this. This guy knows what it's all about. This guy knows what Manchester United, where Manchester United need to be. Because we can dwell, we can think about our history, but get nostalgic and all that. And our history is very important. It's who we are. It's why I supported this football club, guys. So we have to create more history. We have to do more history. We have to create our own legends now. Forget about the others and let's do it again. We're still the same football club. We're not the same, but we're still Manchester United at the end of the day. Of course. Benny, in regards to the players, no player should be guaranteed a starting position at 9, including Onana and Bruno. Hard work and make the position your own. Exactly, Brian. This is exactly what I've been talking about. Exactly what I've been talking about, mate, in regards to no player should be guaranteed a spot in this football team, especially given what they've done, not only last season, but over the last number of years when we haven't challenged for league titles, we haven't challenged for major trophies. Manchester United, these players, they have to be held accountable. What they did last season was embarrassing. Not only that, what they did in that European Cup final, that Europa League final, was the most embarrassing final that I've ever seen in my life. Not only was it a boring final, but we were awful. We were worse than Spurs. And is that even possible? It was one of the worst Spurs sides in history. And this is what I'm talking about, and I'm embarrassed by that. And I have not forgotten that. I have not forgotten that. There are people that just brush this off, willing in it. It's all right. We go again next season. We go it again next season. Now, Omar Barada has been speaking about a 2-year plan with every player. Basically, every player that comes to Man United or has been at Manchester United gets 2 years to impress at the football club. Now, this is a little bit unfair on Rasmus Hojlund because they are actually throwing that notion, that rule to Rasmus Hojlund. They're throwing it at him. And I think that's a little bit unfair because there's a number of players there. Luke Shaw, you've got loads of players there, lots of players who've been there over 2 years who are flattered to deceive as well, and have not won anything, to be honest with you. Onana has been at Manchester United now. When did he sign for Manchester United? Has he been at Manchester United for 2 seasons now? 2 seasons, and he's failed. He's failed. He's been 2 seasons. Rasmus has been 2 seasons, failed. And I think that is what it is. And you have to look at Onana has probably been our most costly player in the history because he's cost us Champions League, Europa Leagues, points in the Premier League, and this is what I'm saying. And this is what we have to, if we're going to use that rule book in regards to 2 years and you're out if you don't perform, then you're going to have to be fair with every single other player there. You're going to have to be fair with, obviously, Rasmus. Because Rasmus, in my opinion, was thrown into the deep end when he came at Manchester United, expected to be the main gunman at Manchester United when he was never proven to score goals. He was never the guy to get 30, 40 goals a season, was not proven. But he was moved to Manchester United for an astronomical fee, which wasn't his fault, and expected to score goals. And, of course, he had a good season in his first season. Let's be real. He had a good season in his first season. Over the last couple of years, it's not quite worked out for Rasmus Hojlund. And you know what? For whatever reason, the pressure, the confidence, it goes down. It looks like a guy who's very, very nervous in regards to that. It looks like a guy who's very insecure sometimes, and I feel like this has really become a heavy weight on his shoulders. And I think given the pressure of playing for Manchester United and constantly thrown down your throat in regards to you not scoring enough goals. Score goals. We need goals. Minus goal difference. 80 million. Minus goal difference. Again and again and again. Obviously, young lad is going to affect his performances, and it's going to affect his the way he thinks and the way he plays on the football pitch going forward, isn't it? At the end of the day. Brian, we broke a little records of a wrong reason last year. So read down. Big up, Brian. We can get to Europe qualification. That would be good, Randy. That would be good. Look, I'm not saying that Manchester United need to go out next season and win the Premier League. It's not going to happen. It's unrealistic at the moment, as we know. You never know what happens in football, but it's unrealistic. I'm saying Man United do need European qualification. I mean, ideally, we would love to get, obviously, Champions League qualifications, but we know that so many teams are vying for that position. This is why Man United need to go hard in this transfer window, because there are teams there that are looking at that Champions League and thinking, Champions League, 100 million. Champions League, 100 million. And that's what they're doing. And Liverpool have done it. This is why Liverpool could spend all that money. This is why Chelsea. And it goes to show you that if Manchester United had no debt, didn't have the Glazers at the football club, Man United would be an absolutely financial monster. The way we could still spend money as I said, we will spend money. The way we still spend money, even when we're in the position that we're in right now, it goes to show you who we are. It just goes to show you who we are. We got the pool, yeah, but we also got the money. And even in this day and age, spending our own money. Caleb, how you doing, my friend? I'll be doing well. Good to see you. Even if we get Baleba now, we have to wait until the third or fourth fixture to get him in the debut. So it's Ugarte or Casemiro for us. So yes, although I would say, Caleb, that it probably will be Bruno and Casemiro or Bruno and Ugarte in that midfield. As much as we don't want that, a lot of us don't want that. It does look like that will be the midfield against Arsenal. It does look like that, guys. Absolutely. Unfortunately, it does look like that way. But what can we do, guys? Guys, absolutely. We can't do nothing about it, of course. Common Pence. When does Amram clock on Bruno just doesn't fit the shape and addition to number 10s on the pitch? Look, I think that Ruben Amram does know. Deep down, he knows. I mean, we all know, everyone knows that Bruno doesn't fit into the number 8 position. The only way you can counter that is if you play a 4 at the back, play 2 in midfield, 3 number 10s, and 1 up front. That can happen. It's like a 4-2-3-1. I like that formation. It's quite good. It's versatile as well, of course. But as we know, it is the actual countryman thing, isn't it? It's the countryman thing. He's Portuguese. He speaks my language. We get on very well together. And this will happen anywhere in the world, not just in Portugal, not just in England, with English bias, not with Portuguese bias, with Italian bias. Wherever you go in the world, this is going to happen. And this obviously is the reason that Dalot will play a fair share of football this year. Bruno will start a lot of games this year. And we have to hold our hands up and admit that this is, a thing. This is a thing, and we can't just ignore that, of course. Baleba, big up, Randy. Caleb, Baleba, very intelligent, absolutely. Getting Baleba will be great, but we can't afford to finish 15th. Of course we can't, mate. Absolutely. That happens again. It's over, mate. Absolutely. We can't. I mean, financially, everything about it will be absolute no. So Arsenal are gassing Bilbao result now. They are winning the league. Look, listen. Let Arsenal think whatever they want to think. Bilbao are very poor. Let them say whatever they want to say. It's up to us as a football club. It's up to us to prove them wrong. It's up to us to play that game next Sunday and win that game, guys. We ain't got long to go to that game. We haven't. We got next week and the weekend. You know what I mean? And that's it. We're playing Arsenal in the first game of the Premier League. Hasn't it gone quick, guys? It's gone very quick. And you know what? Football doesn't wait for anyone. And we have to be ready, guys. Next week, we have to be ready. I hope we can play Sesko. I hope Sesko plays. I hope Sesko gets enough training and integrated into that tactics, integrated into the team, into training, enough to play on Sunday, guys. I really do hope that that happens, because the vibe that he will bring, of course, up front. And we saw yesterday with a false number 9, it just doesn't work, does it? It just doesn't have that same effect. It doesn't have that same effect. And you need that gunman up front. You need that focal point, that number 9 who can get. His only job is to score goals, not to assist, not to create, to score goals. You're up there, mate, to score goals. And I saw a number of crosses from Mbeumo yesterday. Great crosses that would have went bang on the head of Sesko yesterday, and we would have won the game. Absolutely. Big up, Resta C. How you doing, my friend? As a United fan, I can't believe we signed this much. Big up, my friend. Good to see you again. Of course, if Donnarumma will come, Onana will leave. Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. He might dig his heels in. Let's hope. Scholes is not Scholes anymore. He's a moron, old geezer now. I mean, Paul Scholes used to be a really shy guy, as I said. I met the guy once many, many years ago in the 90s. Very shy, head down. Hi, mate. Yeah, like that, yeah? It was like that. Nowadays, I don't know where it's got. It's like it's a clone of Paul Scholes. It's not the real Paul Scholes. It's like, where did we get this Paul Scholes from? Where is he from, Yeah, and it is weird, the way he's been acting is like he's got a new lease of life, a little bit of confidence and stuff like that, But it is what it is. He was a great player, but great players don't make good personalities. It's not like the old days with Sir Bobby Charlton and obviously Dennis Law, God rest their soul. Like the old days where they when they retired, they were still great people. Obviously Lou Macari, another one, great people. Great ambassadors for the football club. There are great ambassadors for the football club. Don't get me wrong. They do their fair share of charity. They do their fair share of good things and stuff like that. But as pundits, I just don't think they have the best interests of Manchester United at heart. I just got this feeling that they don't really want Man United to become successful, guys, as I said earlier. Ephraim, Sal, why did Donnarumma always is not agreeing with wages with the clubs? Maybe he has his preference. Maybe he wants to go somewhere, but you know what, haven't been offered yet. Let's focus on United, guys. Big up Slices of Sib. Big up my friend. We for sure win against Arsenal 4-2. Come on, Slices of Sib. And this is exactly what I'm saying. A lot of people are going out there saying that Man United are going to lose to Arsenal. Man United are going to get cooked against Arsenal. All this malarkey, rubbish. Let's not forget that last season with 10 men, we beat Arsenal at the Emirates. I know it's the FA Cup. I know we won on penalties. We had the referee against us as well. The referee was against us that game. Let's be real here, guys. You know, and we beat them. We're very good at beating Arsenal, by the way. Arsenal have had their fair share of wins recently, but we're very good at beating Arsenal on our day. We can beat Arsenal on our day. Even under Ten Hag, we beat Arsenal. We can beat Arsenal. That's not a problem, guys. So I don't think we should worry about them too much. And we concentrate on ourselves. And let's see what happens, of course. Sal, it's important to get the result against Arsenal for the morale of the team. Absolutely going forward. Very important. If we lose that game, it's going to be difficult, of course. 157, only 39 likes. Come on, guys. Can we get to 50 likes before the end of the show? Let's get the likes up, guys. Thank you so much. Smash the like button, subscribe. It takes 2 seconds. We are on the road to 13,000, Grayo. 13,000 subscribers, not 12,000. Sancho must be the most important player to get out of the door. Absolutely. Anthony as well. Garnacho on the peanuts compared to them. Anthony and Sancho are almost 400k a week. Yeah, I mean, we did pay Anthony a lot of money, ridiculous money for whatever reason. The guy was on 40-odd thousand a week at Ajax, and we ended up paying him quadruple what that amount of money is. Yeah, we need to get Anthony. We need to get Sancho out. Sancho, the thing with Sancho is just the toxicity around him, the negativity that surrounds Jadon Sancho, of course. So we need to get him out the door. Absolutely, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Those two. I don't think that Rasmus should be the first player at the door. I know a lot of people. It's the vibe. It's the narrative now to say that Rasmus needs to leave the football club first. I don't think that should be the case because I think that Rasmus Hojlund has been a good pro. He's been a good pro, plays every game, you know, never caused a problem. I think Sancho, Anthony, and Garnacho should be the first three at the door before anything, of course. Randy, it flex the character of the manager, and Ruben has a ruthless character and will take time to achieve it. I hope so, my friend. Big up, Randy. I'm going to be supporting him all the way. Big up, Jacob. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. No problem, mate. Good to have you here, my friend. Good to see you. Big up everyone in the house, of course. Big up, my friend. Hope you're doing well. The legends are back in the chat, of course, guys. Jacob, Sesko finally joins Man United, 75 world-class potential. Absolutely. Jay, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. We are yet to sign an Eriksen replacement, and that could be Baleba. Obviously, Eriksen was playing in the midfield for Manchester United, of course, and you make a very good point there, Jay. We have not replaced him. We haven't replaced replaced Lindelof, to be honest, and obviously Evans. We haven't done that either. But yeah, we need to replace Eriksen. We have to replace him, and hopefully Baleba is that guy. You better believe us, guys. And I'm saying you right now, guys, you never know. We are Manchester United. And as Fabrizio Romano said, we all know what Fabrizio Romano said.
Don't underestimate Manchester United.
We don't underestimate Manchester United, guys. That is exactly right. You do not underestimate Manchester United. You underestimate us at your peril, guys. Absolutely. Big up 007. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you, guy. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you again. We're getting 3 more incomings. Whoa, I hope so, mate. But you know what? It's going to be difficult. I wouldn't say never in football. Let's get Baleba through the door first. We for sure are getting Baleba because Baleba is pushing Brighton exactly and move to United. And this is one thing about football, about when footballers want to leave the football club, generally they get their wish. When a footballer wants to leave, they will get their wish. Because at the end of the day, when you think about, business-wise, on the pitch, off the pitch, it doesn't make business sense to keep a footballer that's unhappy, because you keep a footballer that's unhappy and he doesn't perform because he's unhappy. It reduces the price. The valuation of the price absolutely decreases significantly. And you know what happens, don't you? They lose money. Baleba want United, absolutely. Jacob, Degatika to join Bournemouth for 34.6 million. Newcastle close to signing AC Milan. They've signed him, Tor. Sunderland make Mr. 10 signing of the summer. Nunes leaves Liverpool there. Yes, guys. Liverpool playing today in the Charity Shield, isn't it? I like the idea of Stiller and Baleba in our midfield. Add a bit of Stiller. Slices. Not everyone want to be like Messi. Big up, my friend. McTominay became a Ballon d'Or. Hooray, Man United boy. Absolutely. I would say that Napoli's a better place for him. Suits his game a lot more. I hope McTominay gets a Ballon d'Or. Nah, he won't get it, but you know what? It's an honour to be nominated. Congratulations to Scott. Big up Yale and everyone. Big up everyone, of course. Big up Ahmed. What's going on, my friend? What we doing? I don't want to be toxic, but we didn't look too good the last 2 games. New players, same story. Seems like we are cursed. I think what it is, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, Ahmed, whilst we got 60% of the team there that have been there for the last few years, stinking out the place, we're going to have the same problem, mate. It only takes a couple of players to ruin the whole shape, to ruin the whole tactics. It only takes a couple of players, mate. And that's what it is. And if you lose out in the midfield, generally you lose the game. And we're trying to shoehorn players into midfield, you know, that are not midfielders, of course. Big up everyone, of course. 53 likes again, guys. Thank you so much. Smashing our loads like. Big up Grayo. We got to 53. Let's get to 60 now. Big up everyone, of course, who's been smashing that like button, of course. Absolutely. Big up Eartham. Big up everyone, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up, guys. Big up everyone. I would have liked Rasmus to get one more season to push Sesko to the best. Yeah, look, you know what? At the end of the day, I think what Man United are looking at in the point of view that, you know what, we might get some money for him. Of course, guys, I want to talk about Rasmus and AC Milan. AC Milan have offered 4 million for Rasmus on loan with a 39 million euros fee to buy, an obligation to buy. What I would say is that it's a little bit low of the mark. It's low, but that does comply with FFP and PSR. Obviously, we have to sell Rasmus for about 40 million to comply with FFP and PSR and things like that. We have to do that, of course, guys. 4 million straight up fee from AC Milan and obviously an obligation to buy. Man United are looking at 6 to 10 million more in that region in regards to getting Rasmus Hojlund to AC Milan on loan with an obligation to buy of 40 million. This is what Man United are saying at the moment. Obviously, we're yet to hear back from AC Milan in regards to that, but the first offer from AC Milan was 4 million plus an obligation to buy of 39 million. So let's see what happens with that. Interesting, of course. Big up Asherman. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Big up everyone. Hope you're good, brother. Hope you're good. Good to see you, my friend. Playing with Rashford and Garnacho has killed Hojlund's confidence. Could be Ahmed. Could be, you know, it could be. Obviously, I'm old school. I'm old school, Ahmed, and I'm always going to be old school. The thing is, yeah, unfortunately, I can't not be old school. The thing is that you have to take accountability for your own actions in football. People don't feel sorry for you. People can only feel sorry for you for too long. Whether it's right or wrong, people only feel sorry for you for too long. I've seen great footballers, great strikers at Manchester United get that ball from midfield, move that ball forward and bury one in the top corner. I've seen strikers do scissor kicks from 35 yards. Andy Cole, for example, when it's not going your way, you make something happen out of nothing. Don't just rely on your teammates. Make something happen out of nothing. And guys, I spoke to Rasmus. I spoke to Rasmus on Instagram about a year ago. And I said, Rasmus, when you get that ball, you have to try and be greedy sometimes. Try and shoot that ball in the back of the net. Sometimes what it just takes something like that from 30, 40 yards. Smack that ball into the back of the net from 40 yards, 30 yards. 40 yards is a bit steep, but 30 yards. And you know what? That could be the spark that ignites your future, you know. Yeah, Randy increased. Yeah. Anana did increase my blood pressure. I should send a bill over to Anana. Absolutely raising my blood pressure every single game, of course. Especially, like, I'm worried about it. Special like to subscribe. Thank you so much, Ephraim. As usual, you're legend. Thank you so much for the support, my friend. Once we get a midfielder and a keeper, we are ready to qualify for the Champions League. I think so as well, my friend. I think so as well. Jacob, Jim Ratcliffe's birthday is on October the 18th. He will be 73. That old prat is the worst investor ever. I prefer celebrating Sesko and Prosecco champagne. Definitely not celebrating Jim's. Me neither, mate. Me neither. I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, we're doing what Manchester United should be doing at the end of the day. This is what Manchester United should be doing. Man United should be attracting the best talent in the world. You know, and this is what I'm trying to say. By the way, the facilities, the training ground was already agreed during the negotiation process of the takeover situation. It was already agreed. It was in the stipulation. It's what the Glazers wanted Jim Ratcliffe to do. He didn't go out of his way to go out there and say, I'm going to do this because I want to do this. He didn't. It was part of the deal because the Glazers cannot afford to fix basically the training ground, the training complex. Ahmed, we can do things in the transfer that no other clubs are doing. Jed Woodward. Yeah, we did it wrong. We can, but we did it wrong. Slice is 100% sure of that. Wycliffe, what a name. Good to see you, mate. Hopefully you won't be gone to November this time. Good to see you, mate. At the end of the day. At least we good news. We have another great goalkeeper. Big up Wycliffe. Good to see you, my friend. I mean, good news, we have another goalkeeper. I mean, hopefully we do get another goalkeeper through the door. We do. It is very underrated how highly Man United need a new goalkeeper. I really do feel that we do need a new goalkeeper. Absolutely. Brian, Sal, you're spotting about Rasmus. He was to learn from a striker like Harry Kane, who were linked to at the time. We were never going to get Kane, so bang, Rasmus dropped in the deep end. Agree, mate. He was dropped in the deep end. And look, I like to look at things from a human side of things. We have to look at things from that. No matter how rich they are, how much money they get paid, we have to look at it from a confidence point of view, from a young lad coming from Atalanta, going to Manchester United, being that focal point, the striker, not proven in the Premier League. It was always going to be difficult for him. So I'm not going to lay, the gauntlet down on him too much, because at the end of the day, we have to show a little bit of compassion, empathy, and stuff like that. We do, of course. Big up, absolutely, Brian. Good to see you. Big up, Brian. Big up. Slice of Sip. Are you going to pay the William Hill before 500k? I'm going to go do it extra. If I get 500,000 subscribers, guys, there's no limit on what I can do, guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. Ephraim, I hear there is a closed door on the weekend for Sesko. There is a closed door on the weekend for Sesko. We'll have to wait and see. Big up, Ephraim. Not heard about that. Donnarumma replaced by Aaron Ramsdale. Now he is younger, a young star, Golden Glove and Ballon d'Or nomination. Absolutely. J-Star, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Donnarumma and Baleba will make the transfer season 10 out of 10 for us. It would improve us a lot, mate. I don't know about 10 out of 10, but it will improve us a hell of a lot. It will move us up that table significantly. We saw yesterday the same old problems from last season. I know it's a preseason friendly, but we saw the same old problems from last season, didn't we? The same issues that we've been having for a long time now, and these things need to be fixed, of course. And Baleba and Donnarumma would be go a long way to fixing that. Randy, Paul Scholes is punch drunk. I don't even know if he drinks. For sure, we can sell Bayındır, right? Yeah, there's lots of news about Bayındır. Bayındır wants first team football. Of course, it's the World Cup at the end of the season. He wants to get into the Turkish national team, of course, national team squad, of course. And he wants first team football. There's news about Trabzonspor. There's news about Besiktas as well, guys. Let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens in regards to that. But yeah, it does look like Bayındır could be leaving the football club. He does want first team football. Of course, he's and playing time has been very limited. Obviously, hardly got a game for Man United. You can count on one hand. Arsenal, Newport County. You know what I mean? And he plays in a couple of friendlies, and that's about it. And that's what I would say. Brian. Scholes and Rio aren't good pundits, for two of the worst. I agree, mate. They're not very good. If we do not get Donnarumma, there is always Lemens, who is promising and could become the next Donnarumma. He could be. I think he's a great goalkeeper in the making, Mr. Senny Lemens. Of course, first mentioned on Stretford Post, of course, guys. It was here that we mentioned Senny Lemens, of course, guys. But what I would say is that, yeah, look, Senny Lemens is a future prospect. I think I liken him to the likes of Courtois and Petr Cech, that sort of goalkeeper, tall, commanding, yeah, and a future generational goalkeeper for me. And there ain't many of them about these days, of course. Darren, F Arsenal, absolutely F Arsenal. Big up, Darren. Jacob, Randy, Ryan Giggs, another punch chugger. Ryan Giggs. I disagree. It will be a 10 out of 10. We still need to sell a few players. Yeah, I think BB90, 10 out of 10 is a little bit of a steep. I think it is about 8.5 out of 10, because there's a couple of things there that I would point out at the beginning. At the end of last season, a few of the main things that I wanted us to get the deals in early, of course, but we didn't. We spent too long in the Mbumo deal as well, and we haven't fixed the right wing-back position. That's another thing, of course. And you know what? We're not going to have these players ready for the season. They're not going to be fit for the Arsenal game, which we needed, of course, and they needed to be integrated into the team. Of course, 8.5 is a very good mark for them. It's not bad, but definitely not a 10 out of 10 for me. Definitely not. They have to do a few more things before I even get close to that. Brian, I'd pay Sancho off just to get rid. I think if we had a full sale, they would have paid his contract off. I think there's a number of players there can thank their lucky stars that we didn't get Qatar, because Qatar would have paid off Sancho. They would have paid off, obviously, Luke Shaw, probably paid off Rashford as well, and we wouldn't have these problems at the football club. Absolutely. Big up Danny B, the legend. What's going on, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Of course, hope you're well. Guys, big up everyone. Hold that, Liverpool. What happened to Liverpool, guys? I'm just seeing it now. I'm not seeing the result yet. 8 players left, 6 incoming. Big up, Randy. Wow. 2-2. Palace just scored 2-2. Good. Is it going to go to penalties, guys? I haven't been watching it, to be honest. I know that Frimpong scored in his debut. I know that. That's about all I know about that. I don't want to. I was going to do a watch along, but I had to go to the hospital, so I couldn't do a watch along. Big up, my friend Darren. By the way, Kent Shee. It's not about who's the first to leave. It's about who's got offers, bro. It is, and I kind of agree with that, Kent Shee, because these football teams around the world, they're not stupid. They know the problems that the players like Sancho that have caused, and Garnacho to an extent have caused. So a lot of people want to stay away from them, and this is what people are a bit more reluctant now. People are thinking, you know what, he's done it to Man United, the club that made him. Is he gonna do that to us as well? Emirate, good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Newcastle can bring the money they wanted to buy Sesko. Newcastle can't compete with Man United, of course. Hit the subscribe and like button notifications, and please hit the thumbs up. Come on, guys. Thank you so much, my friends. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Really important. We're getting the likes. Let's get to 13,000 really quickly, guys. We want to get to 20,000 by Christmas. Can we do that? How much is Carlos Baleba, Sal, when it comes to United? Starting rate is 100 million euros. That is what Brighton have put on his head. I feel like Man United can do a deal for about 75. Around that mark, Man United might be able to do a deal with 10 million in incentives. It's a lot of money, of course. It's going to be a lot of money, this transfer. This is why it's going to be difficult, because of the money that Brighton will request for Baleba. Manchester United obviously will go in there with their installment plan, with their structured deal, paying it in installments, of course. But Man United could quite possibly, if possible, make a swap deal on the tables in regards to Sancho, in regards to maybe a Anthony, maybe a Garnacho. Obviously, Anthony wants to go to Betis, and he only wants Betis, and he doesn't want anyone else, of course. Big up Amir, I hope you're doing well, of course. Big up Jacob, of course. 39, big up everyone. Thank you so much. Congratulations, 77. Thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you everyone who's been smashing the like, guys. Really, really appreciate that, of course. Thank you, guys. Really appreciate you, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up everyone who's joined me today, of course, in the stream. J-Star, I think Baleba will play like Kobe. Give Kobe the chance. With them together, we'll be on fire. Look, J-Star, I think people are writing off Kobe too soon. I think they're writing off too soon. I think if he played, I agree with you, J-Star. If he played with Baleba, I think, I mean, I don't like to use the word cook too often, but I think we'll be cooking, guys. I really do think we'll cook. I think that could be the case. I think playing them two together, balanced, is most importantly, it's balanced. And that's what I preach on. I preach it so many times. I think it's underrated how important balance is in the team. And I think we're playing. The reason Man United don't look good is because we're imbalanced. We're imbalanced, and we're not playing as a structure, and everyone is everywhere. Everyone knows that when you're right-footed playing on the left, when you're left-footed playing on the right, it's going to be awkward. It's always going to be awkward. You're going to be awkward. Unless you're the likes of Dennis Irwin or something like that, you could possibly get away with it. It's generational players and stuff, but it's awkward, guys. Guys, thank you, everyone who's joined the channel today on Chatterbox. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video. And also, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. It's very important. We're on our way to 20,000 subscribers. Let's get the numbers up. Also, we want to get to 100,000 subscribers by... Not 100,000, I'm sorry. 20,000 subscribers by Christmas. I got ahead of myself. 20,000 subscribers by Christmas. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Also, guys, please don't forget to put your notifications on. It's very important you put notifications on. Of course, in case I go live. You never know what's going to break, guys, do you, with Manchester United these days, do you, at the end of the day? Have a great day, great night, great evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox, and I'll see you tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. If nothing else breaks, of course. Take it easy. Peace.